Hey guys, this is Sean McGarry coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the music salon where great things happen. Actually in a new location, man. I moved to a new house and I have a little bit of a new setup here if anybody's paying attention here. So I got some cool stuff going on, trying to get everything set up. So this is my first official video in my new place. I'm super excited about it, and things will continue to evolve and get better as we go, but I try to keep sort of the same look, if you notice, but it's a little different, right? So anyway, I can't wait to dive into today's lesson. I'm really excited about it. So if you notice in that little beginning there, jam, I was really the Purple Rain, you probably noticed that, but I was also throwing in another melody, and this is kind of how to get the perfect melody, and I'm going to probably call it something like that. I'm not sure yet, just kind of jamming around some ideas this morning, but we're going to talk about how to create great melodies. So, what is a great melody? Well, I just played an example of one, Purple Rain. It doesn't get much better than that little guitar thing he does at the end. And there's so many great melodies from guitar players, and to me, it's from the less is more. You're not going to have a great melody that has a million notes. It's going to have to just be something that's like a vocal line that you can hum back and hear. So what are we doing here? Well, grab your guitars, let's go, and let's dive into it, man. So I'm in the key of A today, and we're going to talk about so much stuff here. So, the chord progression over that is A major to F sharp minor, which is a 6 minor, E major, and then D major. And I'm going to show you some little exercises that I use to practice playing melodically and building melodies. So, what I always say is just find one little nugget, one idea. So let's just take this chord here. Now the Prince song, I believe, is in a different key. I think it's something like that. We're just playing around in the key of A, right? So, but this chord progression is the same because that's 6 minor. So if you just do this, if you grab your guitar, like I said, just play that chord. That's an A sus, right? It sounds beautiful, or an A major. But we want to have something to a blank canvas to kind of play around on. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here. And this is an A triad, right, of your cage system, right? So we've got like that C-shaped A up here. Now if I do that, I can do a couple things. I might go up to find a sound that you want to play around with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here and play this chord. And where we go, I don't know, but I'm going to use some ideas of theory and melody here and diatonic harmony to find some melodies. So I'm going to play this, and one more thing here before I get started here on this little melody journey. I'm playing my scale from this position, so if you're not familiar with this, look at this. Here's my root on the 12th fret A string. That's my A major, okay? So I'm going to kind of play out of that box to get started. So what I'll do is I'll play the chord, and I'll just kind of go up the scale and play a little melody, or not even a melody, just an arpeggio when I go. So what am I doing here? I'm playing up this little arpeggio. I slide up. Now I'm purposely landing on the major third of the scale, the C sharp. Okay, that's a very strong note to play. So if you're never sure what to play, and you're in a major key, always try the major third. It's a beautiful note. It always sounds good. I'm going to show you another little exercise here in a second. But let's stay on this journey for a second. So I'm kind of sliding up. Okay, then I might hit the A string again. Gives me a little background to play over. And I'm going to walk back down to my root. So all together, A, chord, maybe sus. Okay, so I'll show you a couple of things here too. I like playing the minor 7 flat 5. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but I like to build up to that. So again, all these little things I'm going to come back to. I haven't forgot. I'm going to walk up again one more time. Major third, hit the A string, kind of ring it open. Gives me the sound, the canvas. Let's walk back down. Okay, now starting to sound like a melody, but we have to play with intent. What I mean is these notes all serve purpose in the scale. So if I land on the F sharp note right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's the minor 6. So that F sharp is the 6th note of the scale, And that implies to the listener's ear that you're playing this F sharp minor chord. So whether you know that or not, these notes imply sounds in music. That's why it's called diatonic harmony. It's harmonizing a scale. I have lessons on it if you check out my channel here. So I know that going from the major third back down to that 6 is going to give us a nice familiar sound. So one more time I go. Now watch this. I'm going to walk down the scale. Now that implies this chord. Right, so I can hear da 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 da. I can't sing. Right, back down, dan 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 dan. Right, you can hear those notes kind of implying those chords. Now let's continue up the scale here. Then I'll go. Then I'm going to go. Look at this. Well, there's my D. So I'm going to just walk up from the minor 6. I land on a D note and I just do this little arpeggio or a triad. Now watch this. And resolve it. So that's how you create melodies. I'll do it again, but these are just examples of great ways to practice. So all together, I'm going to play up the A, little A triad. Down to A, minor 6, D. Right here, look at this. Look at that E, that's a beautiful E shape right there. Nice little triad. And it's all in this box here. So when you're playing out of A major right here, all this is right there. So you got your minor 6, you got your nice caged A. Okay. Now another cool little idea I was playing around with is like when you play, if you're in a key of A, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can play like a minor 7 flat 5 or diminished sound to kind of set you up. I love that sound too. So if I go back to the beginning and play this A, sorry. Right, you just give a little bit of a suspense there. So let me do a reverse here. So if I just start with this, I'll go to that A sus chord. Let's see how beautiful it is. One more time. Right. You know, climb back up to your A. Here's a melody. Now, there's so many cool ideas I want to show you here. Like, I love the key of A and E because you can always utilize the open strings, right? So one of my favorite little moves is this. You can play the open A along with that major 7, or I'm sorry, not major 7, the major 3rd. So that's just an open A string, kind of pedaling off that. Now watch, I'll do it up here too. I love this little exercise. So here's the major 3rd if you look at your scale up here, look. So here's an exercise I use a lot and I show my students and I play it all the time just because it sounds really cool. I'll play this major 3rd with the open A string and I'll walk down to the root. So man, this is a strong melody right here, check it out. Just says 3 notes. So you don't need a lot of notes. You can hear these melodies over the chords. You know, in a melodic chord progression like the Prince thing will, you know, which is a common chord progression, by the way, you know, will give you the melody you need because the chords are so melodic. So really whatever you play it over, as long as it's tasty, it's going to sound really good. Now, some more things up here. So when I'm up here, right? All these different sounds you can get, right? You know, I might go for the major 7. I might go for the dominant 7. But you're still kind of using the same concept as far as borrowing melodies and finding melodies. Not borrowing, but finding melodies, borrowing notes from the scale. You know, you can do stuff like this. If I start on A, well, look at this. It's real simple, but it's following is how to build a melody. So I know that I want to start from the root and somehow do a scale, you know, a little scale run, but land on that sixth. So you're landing with intention. So if I go A, it implies that chord. Now watch this. I want to land on E. E. Land on the 4. To the major third. So there's lots of little tricks and stuff to find melodies. Or sometimes you just use your ear. Now, did Prince uses theory when he played, you know, or whatever key we're in? I think he's in his key, we're playing an A. But did he use his ear when he played theory? You know, he probably just used his ear and he heard something. But, you know, it's a combination of the two things. You got to use your ear and you got to use a little bit of theory to practice this stuff, to develop the ear. Now, let's take a look at that iconic melody. I'm going to play it in the key we're in right now. So, it's just... Look at that, right out of the scale. So all together, it's like... ad-lib it there at the end, obviously, but so that's the melody, right? And then you can fill in the end with little licks, and that's the beauty of that little melody. Now, what I did is I threw in the same melody. And this is really what I want to talk about too. Finding notes of scales that work together. So I also played another iconic riff over that, which was Journey, Faithfully. I've loved that song since high school. I love Neil Schon, I love Journey, and I think Neil Schon's one of the greatest guitar players out there, and he just writes such beautiful melodic guitar solos and melodies, and that's one of them, right? So those two solos work great together, man. They're interchangeable. But when you know, that melody, if you look at the scale here, let's break this down a little bit. So here's our caged A, here's our minor 6, here's our 4 chord, here's our 5 chord. So let's say we wanted to play that chord progression, you know, it's all right in this little box here. It's beautiful. Let's check. A, minor 6, the 5, E major, 4, E. Then, so what he's doing, he's starting right on that root. Oh, I'm sorry, he goes to that minor, or I'm sorry. He goes up to the 5. So that note, that F, I'm sorry, A to E. I'm switching keys here, it's screwing me off a little bit here. But he's doing that root to 5, right, down to the 4. It works. Listen how beautiful it is. And to me, my favorite part is that 4 in there. So the 4, you know, let's see if we did. You hear that sound in there, right? You can use it over a dominant 7 chord. This is or arpeggio. Here's a 7. I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit today, but there's so many cool little ideas you can do with this. So one more time, before I go off the rails too far. Right down the scale, look at that. And you can hear the chords over every one of those notes. Look at A, da, there's your F sharp minor. I'm sorry, your E. There's your D. Your your 4. Okay, so those are all notes from the major scale. Now, what you want to do is you just want to fool around with this stuff. And you can also, like when you're playing around with these major chord melodies, well look, the relative minor is right there, so you've got your F sharp minor. So here's A major. Here's F sharp minor pentatonic. Here's your triads one more time. A, minor 6, F sharp minor. Here's your E major. Here's your D major. And you can outline every one of those too for melodies. You know, if I go A, and these all connect. So ladies and gentlemen, friends, I just want to give a little video here on like how to create melodies. So hopefully this helps out. I mean, I want to do a follow-up with this. I could spend hours on this, but you got to get into this major scale, man. You got to play the, and you got to understand what the chord tones do. Like what's the role of every note. A lot of times I'll just sit here with my students or myself, and I'll play like it, whatever key I'm in this case A, and I'll have them play every note of the scale. Look at this. How does that second, sound over that A? How's the third sound? Here's your octave, so you just put a loop on it, just play every note and see what it sounds like. How does it create a sound? If I go, listen to that. I love that sound. That's my root A. That's my minor 6. You can hear that. You can hear the relationship between the chords. So practice your scales, practice your melodies, play that iconic riff at the beginning, and then practice these melodies, right? It'll help you create your own. So thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't done so. Please consider joining my Patreon page, and we'll see you next lesson. Thank you.